Good news to you. My name is Assistant Pastor Tari, and I'm here today to share my son AJ's testimony. My son AJ was born with a condition called spina bifida, and his is called meningocele. It's the highest form of spina bifida. And with that condition, his spine, the lower part of his back on his spine, is quite curved, so humped up. 2023, his the skin on the top of his spine, of his back, it started breaking down. And this was caused by anything really. If he would sit on the sofa, it can break down. It can break down and open up. If he would lie down in his bed, it would break down and open up. In that moment, it was really hard for us because at some point we would have to tell him, like, AJ, you cannot play on the floor with your brothers, because we were mortified. We were really scared for him that he might really hurt himself. And the doctors also advised that he should like keep off his back. And in that moment, they also advised that he sleeps on his tummy. It was really tough for him, even for his little brothers as well. We had to limit, the activities that they could do together, just in fear that they could hurt him on his back. Every week, we had to travel to go to Children's Hospital so that he can be dressed there. But then when the nurses realized that it was not getting any better, I had to go through, me and my husband, we had to go through like training on how to change his dressings so that we could do that every day, because they said that might help aid the healing. But it did not really make a difference because it only just kept getting worse, despite us changing the dressings and adding whatever, ointments, medications that they were giving us that he was on. I felt really heartbroken for my son. As much as I could express myself, at some points I would cry. I would cry. But then my son, sometimes because of his age, he would not be able to express how he would feel. So it was really heartbreaking to see. This really affected, our family life um, to a massive extent. AJ was starting school, but then the school that we found, they really could not take him on full time because they said that they could not meet his need because of his back. And they needed somebody to come in and change his positions so that his wound doesn't deteriorate. At first, it started off showing like it was a little opening on his back, and then gradually it just kept getting bigger and bigger. At some point, it was bleeding, and it had it's like something had chewed on it, so it looked like something was mowing on it, chewing on it. And then later on, his spine got exposed to an extent that we could visibly see the white bone on his back. And then at some point in that wound, some clear fluid started oozing out. He had to be taken into hospital. And the specialists, when they were very concerned, because at some point they were thinking it's probably spinal fluid. And they were then giving us these scenarios that, if they would check it and if it's like spinal fluid, this might be very detrimental to his health. And it could cause like meningitis because the wound is open. This is a very great way for infection to come in and go straight to his brain through the spine. So we were very scared, and we ended up staying in hospital with him for about a week. And they were doing all the checks and tests. But, all thanks be to the God of my Prophet Uebert angel, everything came out clear and it was not spinal fluid. This really made us feel very heartbroken for him. It was painful to watch him in such a situation. And, we felt really desperate, and we felt like, as parents, we felt really defeated, like helpless, that we could not do anything to help our son. Yeah, it was really tough. You know, when your child has like a tummy ache, you can say, I can just give them, paracetamol or Calpol and they're okay. This was off the charts. This was not something that you could just decide, I'm going to take him to the GP and he's going to be fine. You know, it was a journey filled with so much pain. And to think that we had so much specialists. He had the spinal nurses, he had the plastic surgeons, he had the orthopedic doctors, he had the tissue viability nurses, and all these are very much professionals. They weren't really doing much to help us, and the wound was just getting worse. And by this time we are really desperate because our son's spine is showing, the bone is showing, and we're thinking, what do we do next? And Exodus season was advertised, and then me and my husband, we knew the moment it was advertised that this has got to be our solution, and we have to make it to Exodus, to Zimbabwe. You know, my husband decided that I go and represent us and our son in Zimbabwe at the GoodNews City. When I got to Zimbabwe, I remember we went for our Exodus night, and then we went for ambassador service. During the ambassador service, Prophet did announce that there was going to be a tour at the GoodNews City, and we were going to go there the next morning. So whilst we was on the bus on the way to the GoodNews City, I was really overcome by emotions. I was crying. People were just staring at me. They did not understand what I was going through. At some point, I ended up like taking a piece of paper and I just started writing prayer requests. And I remember in those prayer requests, I also wrote, something about my son's back and his healing and how desperate I was, and knowing that this was like my last resort. Everything, remember, everybody had failed us. The specialist had failed us, so this was my last hope. And I had the faith, that something is going to happen because of the prophet of this last dispensation. When we then got to the GoodNews City, and then we got to the pit, and at that pit, people were just praying. Everybody was just praying and worshiping, and so many miracles were happening and taking place there. And then I remember I went into the pit. I knelt down in the pit, and I remember I started scooping some soil. I was scrambling with my nails because I didn't have anything to use to scramble the soil. So I was just gathering the soil with my nails, and I was taking it and I was putting it in my water bottle. And then I remember at some point I was taking some soil and I was eating it. And as I was eating it, I was also just using myself as a point of contact for my son. So I remember we were praying. I was praying deep down in my spirit, like, this is why I'm here. I just said to myself, whatever healings that have happened in this place, on this wall, the same thing, that same action, it has to work for my son. And I was just saying it in my spirit. I wasn't really praying. And then I remember trying to dig a wall, like a little hole to put my prayer request. But then I ended up just putting my little paper on against the prayer wall, and I took tiny little rocks and I just put it over, on top of the prayer request. And then soon after that, we just left. We left the GoodNews City. As I was in Zimbabwe, my husband kept on sending me updates, like picture updates of AJ's back. So every single day he'll send me a picture so that we would see, how the word is working in our lives. And we were really expectant, so we really wanted to see like what was going to happen. And I remember with all these images my husband was sending me, the image that he sent on day 5 was absolutely amazing. I was shocked at the transformation, like how much the wound had healed. It had significantly reduced. And this was absolutely amazing and unheard of, from our point of view. Because remember, we had spent like almost a year, going in and out of hospital, spending every single thing that we had, trusting the professionals, and they did not do anything for us. And this is happening in just 5 days. So this was really big for us. So I even sent some pictures to some of our family members and our friends, and some people, who we were praying with, and they could not believe it. They absolutely were shocked to say, you guys have been going through this for a whole year, and just within 5 days of leaving the Good News City, and this is happening. So this was absolutely amazing. I just want to massively thank our prophet, the highly esteemed prophet Uebert Angel. Thank you so much, sir, for agreeing to be used by the Lord. Thank you so much for the healing unction that you carry. Our lives will never be the same again. Our family is transformed. Our son's back is healed. So we are really grateful. And I just want to encourage anybody who might be watching Prophet, or who's not already following the Prophet, go on every media platform, follow the Prophet. Even when Prophet is teaching, there is no barrier. Whether you're watching on television, on YouTube, you can still receive your healing, whether you are there at the hippodrome with the Prophet or you're watching online. There is no barrier. Just believe. All you need to do is to believe, and your life will never be the same again. And once again, I just want to say thank you so much, Prophet.
So I would like to thank my prophet, my mentor, Prophet Uebert Angel, for showing me us the way as a family. Thank you very much, sir. We appreciate you for all you do in our lives.
Thank you, Prophet. Bye.